Hi, kids, and welcome back to your final week of unit number 3. Now, this is also the last week before you guys go on a spring break that is very well deserved. Now, of course, as you can see, today's topic, cultural influences on Japan. Now, as we already know, Japan is an island. However, that does not mean that it was not influenced by other places, which is what we're going to talk about today. So our CHQ, to what extent is Japan's golden age a result of its interaction with other places? Now, first things first, what you got to do is I want you to start by copying this onto page number 18. So pause the video, copy this down onto page number 18 of your world history notebooks, and then once you have done so, we will move right along. Okay, so now that you've copied this guy down on page number 18, let's move on. Now, the first thing that we're going to look at is a product that China has recently adopted from Japan. So I want you to simply watch and listen. What is the product that China is buying like crazy from Japan?
Sailor Moon may have ruled North American airwaves more than 2 decades ago. But now, thanks to China, Japanese anime sales are booming. Overseas sales of the genre rose 79% last year to $288 million, with about half of that increase coming from Chinese buyers. Since the Chinese government cracked down on piracy, video streaming sites like Youku, Bilibili, and iQIYI pay big money for anime. Licenses to the most popular ones are priced up to $100,000 an episode. From ninjas and detectives to martial artists and pirates, here are some of the most popular Japanese anime streaming in China today. Naruto is about an adolescent ninja who wants to become the Hokage, the village's best and strongest ninja. The manga first published almost 20 years ago and is among one of the most watched on China's major video sites. On Youku alone, Naruto episodes have over 2.5 billion views. Detective Conan is one of the longest running anime of all time. It's about a high school detective who was forcefully transformed into a child while investigating a mystery organization. The main character continues to solve cases while keeping his identity a secret. Twin Star Exorcist is the newest anime on this list and is only 3 years old. It's about a pair of young exorcists that are destined to marry and have a child that will be the most powerful exorcist of all. The TV series was released this April with around 50 episodes so far. One Piece streams exclusively on iQIYI and is one of the site's most popular anime. It follows a pirate's search for the world's greatest treasure. The manga first published in 1997 and the anime 2 years later. Dragon Ball was one of the first anime hits in North America. The story is about Goku and his friends as they defend Earth against villains and search for Dragon Balls. The franchise is the oldest in this list. The manga ran for 11 years from 1984 to 1995, while the animated TV series have 5 different spin-offs. The film adaptation was released in October in China. But China is moving beyond buying license rights to Japanese anime. Domestic companies like iQIYI are now hiring Japanese talent and studios to produce original Chinese language anime.
All right, so now, what was the product adopted by China from Japan? Yeah, of course. It's anime. Now, kiddos, here's a map. Now, I want you to notice we have China right here. We have Korea right here. We have Japan right here. Now, this area from China to Japan is less than 200 miles. Now, maybe that sounds like a lot, but in the broad scheme of things, they are next door neighbors. Now, the only thing separating them is this thing called the East China Sea. Now, as you can see, Japan, Korea, and China all share the coast of the East China Sea. Now, the East China Sea, over history, has served as both a connector, bringing people together, and as a divider. Now, for example, as being a divider, remember the Mongols? They sailed from Korea to Japan, which is only about 100 miles, and they were not able to conquer Japan because these typhoons sweeping across and drowning all of them. Yeah, that is an example of the East China Sea being a divider, keeping Japan safe from its neighbors. However, it's also, throughout all of world history, served as a connector, allowing people from Korea, people from China, to have a major influence on Japan. So today, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at 3 ways that Japan was influenced by its neighbor, starting with its government. Now, of course, on the left-hand side, we have our boy, Prince Shotoku, and his not so invisible anymore constitution. Now, the way that Prince Shotoku was influenced was this. When Prince Shotoku first became the emperor, he didn't know how to run a country. So he sent his #1 home dogs over to China. They looked at what China was doing, brought back the information to Prince Shotoku. Bada bing, bada boom. He wrote his not so invisible constitution based on the influence of China. However, here's the problem. You remember? Once Prince Shotoku died, who gained all the power? Who ran the show in Japan? Yeah, in China, the emperor was in control, but after the death of Prince Shotoku, in Japan, the shogun had all the power in Japan. Now, moving on. Influence number 2. Now, right here, this is called a Shinto shrine. A Shinto shrine. Now, the original religion of Japan is a religion called Shinto. We talked about it on the first day we talked about Japan. They believe in these spirits called kami. There are good kami and there are bad kami, and what you are devoted to do is pleasing the kami. If you please the kami, you will live a good life. Now, that's the original religion of Japan. But with Prince Shotoku sending people over to China and saying, dude, what's China got that's so good? Bring it back here. What do we get? We get Buddhism introduced to Japan for the very first time. Now, what they do is they take Buddhism, tweak it just a little bit, and make it their own. Now, the Buddhism of Japan is called Zen Buddhism. Maybe you've heard about it. Now, Zen Buddhism is all about meditating. Now, if you've ever seen people, maybe in the park, Mile Square Park, something like that, very early in the morning, sort of doing this slow-looking martial arts. Now, this is called Tai Chi, and that is directly from Zen Buddhism. Now, our third major influence, medical knowledge. Now, in Japan, there was a majorly important disease that was traveling along the Silk Roads. Now, here's the problem. This disease traveled along the Silk Roads and landed in Japan. This disease is called leprosy. Now, leprosy is no fun at all. Now, if you look very closely, you can see what leprosy does to a body. It's these little boils that pop up all over your body. They're bloody, they're pussy, they're oozy, and eventually it makes your arms, legs, fingers, toes fall off. Even your nose will fall off, and then you die. Now, Japan, luckily for them, got some knowledge of how to treat leprosy, not from China, but all the way over from the Muslims of the Middle East. Now, remember way back when I first saw you guys, we were talking about all these Muslim achievements. You remember these are the people who invented surgery. These are the people that invented hospitals. Yeah, that knowledge made its way across the Silk Roads, landing in Japan, and Japan was finally able to figure out how to treat these horrible diseases as a result of the Muslims in the Middle East. Now, kids, I cannot wait to see you this week, because this week we're talking about one of my all-time favorite topics, seppuku. Now, if you don't know what it is, you'll never forget once you see me. All right, kiddos, see you soon.